Welcome to Endo Health Hub. Today's video is all about post-laparoscopy tips and tricks, as well as what to do beforehand as well. This was a really popular video request, so I have put it in 3 parts. So first of all, we're going to be talking about the beforehand, and then we're going to talk about the recovery process and just my favorite products as well, my tips and tricks. I've now had 5 laparoscopies, which have each been very challenging and very, very different as well. I've had one for emergency appendix removal. I think I've had 3 for cyst removal, and and then 1 for endometriosis being cut out as well. Each of them I've recovered really differently. So I think we really need to take that into account. Every woman is different. Like, you might wake up and feel fine, or you can have an adverse reaction to the anesthesia, which that's me. I get so sick. But just make sure you feel confident in talking to your to the anesthesiologist and say, hey, listen, I get really, really ill. Just make sure that's a point. So here's going to be my 3 major tips, and it's going to be in 3 parts. So, number 1, first part, we're going to talk about post-operative and best practices. A lot of women, you sort of either stumble into the surgeries, or it's emergency surgery, or it's investigative surgery. So I think it's really, really important to do your research, feel confident in talking to your surgeon about what needs to happen, what's going to happen, and understand what the outcomes are, whether that's going in looking for endo, going in and checking your ovaries, or going in looking for adenomyosis or polycystic ovaries, or even checking your tubes for fertility. So I think that having a game plan and not being afraid to say what you want the outcome to be is really, really important. We're paying them the money, or you're going through the public health system to know how to get better, or know where the outcome is going to be. So I think that is really, really important, is be your own advocate, be on top of what they're going to do and understand it. And I think that's the most important takeaway from post-operative as well. But one thing they don't tell you about, which I'm going to show you guys, is let's talk about bowel movements for a minute. I know that it's like, oof, oh my goodness. It is something that I wish I knew when I went through my first surgery, because I had an obstructed bowel, because all you're doing is taking pain medications, and then you're dehydrated, and then you fast till your surgery, and then you're discharged, and we just sort of forget about going to the bathroom. So that's right, eat prunes. Eat prunes, eat pears. Post-operative, even I've had Movicol the day before my operation, just to make sure that everything's gonna flow through nicely, you know. But I mean, they taste really good as well. So these bad boys should be top of your list. Post-operative care is really important. You've got to not be afraid to, number 1, say that you're in pain, and number 2, make sure you have someone to help you and be there for you. Once you wake up, make sure your doctor comes and assesses you. Make sure you voice any concerns, whether you're not going to the bathroom properly, whether you're urinating too frequently, if you're nauseous, and don't let them push you out the hospital too fast if you feel that way. Just say, hey, just let me please stay overnight. I don't feel comfortable, and then let them take care of you before you leave, if you can. I have had past surgeries where it's been day surgery and I've left too quick, and I've ended back up in hospital 3 times because it just sort of puts you backwards. So make sure you understand your pain medication, you've spoken to your doctor and specialist, and then make the decision to leave. Once you're home, you're going to be dealing with a multitude of different symptoms, whether that be nausea, the shoulder tip pain from the gas. They blow you up like pretty much like a giant balloon, just like sort of like, woo. So you're just going to be experiencing those sorts of things as well. So we're going to start off with the shoulder tip pain, and my product that I use religiously is the Yo-Yo hot water bottles. They are fantastic. Look how long these bad boys are. I mean, look at that. It is so soft as well. It's got this inner lining as well to keep everything nice and warm, and it is perfect to put up and around your shoulders to get the relief from the shoulder tip pain, so you have the warmth. And it's also really good as well because I had a lot of hip pain, so I was running it down my leg. Beautiful. So this was a good one for shoulder tip pain. My electric heat pad. I constantly get messages about this, and I'm like, girlfriend, you need to get onto it. It is $25 delivered through Amazon. So you plug it in. It has 3 adjustable temperatures, and it gets nice and warm. Then you don't have to keep moving around a lot. But probably one of my favorite products of all time, easily. The next category, which is your period and bleeding, because this is something that women with endo do know about. You get this like fun kind of bleeding. Sometimes women experience bleeding for like 3 to 6 weeks after surgery. And gosh, I wish I had this in my last surgery. Period panties. So this is Luna period panties. They're an Australian company. I've already done a little post on these guys, but I really wish I had this for my last surgery because I had so much random bleeding and I could never guess when it was coming or going. So like putting these on after your surgery is just a much more comfortable way of bearing with random bleeding and spotting, which is to be expected from surgery. There's a lot of fluid, there's a lot of things getting moved around, but they're so comfortable and they absorb everything and you feel clean and dry and you don't smell. So I really recommend these guys, and it is such a lifesaver. And so another thing we need to talk about as well is anxiety and sleep. Sometimes women sort of feel anxious after surgeries, whether it's bad news or it's your hormones all over the shop. Like I know mine were all over the shop. I had a panic attack last time I woke up from my operation. The poor nurse was freaking out. But yeah, I just had this massive panic attack. I'm not even sure why I was having a panic attack, and I was lucky that I brought my rescue remedy with me, their natural stress relief lozenge, as well as some lavender oil. Taking this bad boy in with you really helps with, I don't know, the hospital smell. I put a couple of drops in my bed and on my feet at night. By the way, take fluffy socks so you don't have to walk around that hospital room in bare feet. But yeah, use your lavender, and these guys as well, if you haven't tried them, they're really good just to sort of calm you when you're in stressful situations like being in hospital. The power of peppermint tea. I really underestimated this the first couple of times round, but now in the post-operative information form they send you home with, it's actually a requirement that you drink peppermint tea. So I brew my tea, maybe you guys can see, with peppermint leaves from the garden. And what it does is it helps expel all the gases from your body. So while all those trapped gases from the operation are trying to get out, it's a good way to combat them and help your body process it, as well as the fact that it helps nausea so much. So I also add ginger into my peppermint tea, and it's also a lovely way for your tummy to be calmed down when you're feeling nauseous. I think we'll sort of close up and round off saying as well is about the incision sites. So I know sometimes they can be a bit of a challenge, and always follow the directions that the nurse sends you home with about your wounds. Make sure you ask plenty of questions so that you're following what they should do. Depending whether they use stitches or the surgery glue is a little bit different to how you take care of them. The glue sort of just falls off by itself and will heal up, but if you're finding that it's itchy or pussy, just go to your local doctor and get them to have a little look at it. But my pro tip that after like maybe a week to 2 weeks of it healing over, use medical grade Manuka honey. That stuff is incredible at healing scars. Plus I have got my Endo belly cream that I make myself as well, and that helps reduce the signs of scars and heat damage as well. So post-operative, it's really good to be using something with like a vitamin E base, as well as the aloe vera and frankincense, which is what my Endo belly cream has in it. And I'm going to be restocking for you guys. Later this week it will be available on my website to pre-order. I know you're all so excited, but don't forget as well, I donate 10% of the profits to Endo Research, which I'm so happy to be doing for you guys. So jump on at the end of the week and you'll see a post and there'll be a link to pre-order you guys some of my Endo belly cream. But feel free to send me any messages. I hope you all have loved this video. I've been waiting so long to make it for you guys, and I really hope it helps you guys. Peace out.